have watched the test for carbonates, and in the video you saw the color of the salt. It is colorless or white. That indicates the absence of colored ions like copper, cobalt, nickel, and iron. Then you have seen that the salt is soluble in water. So the original salt solution can be prepared using the salt. Now one more test was done under preliminary, and that was the dilute H2SO4 test. In identification, the test is using dilute H2SO4 in a test tube. You can see the evolution of a colorless gas. You can see a brisk effervescence in the test tube with the evolution of a gas. That gas was collected in another test tube, and then lime water was added to the gas. You saw the color of lime water changing to milky. Lime water is colorless liquid, but once the gas is passed through lime water, it changes to milky. So that indicates the presence of carbonate. Now boys, you all will be having the sheet. Just check. So first preliminary is colorless. So your observation is colorless. Then check the solubility. The salt is soluble. Then we tried for the dilute H2SO4 test. In the dilute H2SO4 test, you saw brisk effervescence with the liberation of a colorless and odorless gas, which when passed through lime water turns it milky. So that indicates the presence of carbonate. Now once you get carbonate, you are not going to do the other test. You are just skipping the concentrated H2SO4 test for sulfate, test for phosphate. You are not doing these tests. Then directly you will be moving to the confirmatory test for carbonate.
So we would only do this if
Sorry?
there is no characteristic reaction. Right?
See, the salt given to you was carbonate. First you checked the color, it was colorless. Then it was dissolved in water, it was soluble. Later on, the identification test was done using dilute H2SO4. Now by performing the dilute H2SO4, you have seen only the observation, the brisk effervescence with the liberation of a colorless, odorless gas. So once you get brisk effervescence, you are identifying the anion as carbonate. The gas obtained is then passed through lime water, and the lime water turns milky. So your observation is A, brisk effervescence, presence of carbonate. Now check the formula, carbonate is CO3 minus. Now, there was no smell of rotten eggs, that means sulfide was absent. Now, once you identify carbonate, you will be directly moving to the confirmatory test for carbonate. So, you can check the confirmatory test. To a little of the salt solution, barium chloride was added. You are getting a white precipitate. So, the white precipitate indicates the presence of carbonate. There is one more confirmatory test, and that is using magnesium sulfate. So when magnesium sulfate solution was added to the salt solution, you got a white precipitate. So that confirms presence of carbonate.
In the video, ma'am,
they showed HCl instead of BaCl2.
No, in the video, Darshan, in the video they have shown the lime water test. Okay, so under confirmatory they have shown lime water test. But we are doing lime water test under identification. So in O labs there will be a difference in the sequence given. You have to follow the scheme which is shared with you. Okay, so there will be some changes in O lab. It won't exactly match with the scheme given to you. But you have to follow the scheme of analysis. So whatever is there in the scheme which I have projected now, I have selected only those experiments from O labs. I have removed certain experiments. Say for example, dry test. We are not doing dry test in the lab. That is why I have removed the dry test portion from the video. So first you need to follow this scheme. In the lab, you will be following this scheme, and whatever reactions are given in the scheme, only that need to be learned. Is that clear?
Yes.
Boys, please respond.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah. So all the important points regarding carbonate, it is a colorless salt. It evolves, it gives carbon dioxide gas with dilute sulfuric acid. Carbon dioxide when passed through lime water can turn it milky. Then another important point regarding carbonate is, where is it? Yeah, the confirmatory. If carbonate salt solution containing carbonate is treated with barium chloride, you'll get a white precipitate. And if the salt solution containing magnesium chloride, the salt solution containing carbonate is treated with magnesium sulfate, you will get a white precipitate, and that confirms carbonate. So we are done with carbonate. So those are the important points related to the test. Now you can watch the video on acetate. So first, let me just start again. So preliminary, you need to note the color of the salt. You have to check whether the salt is soluble. Then you will be mixing the salt with dilute H2SO4. You will be mixing the salt with dilute H2SO4 followed by concentrated H2SO4. So these are the tests that we are going to observe now. Once acetate is detected, directly you will be doing the confirmatory test for acetate. So you have the confirmatory test for acetate. There are two confirmatory tests. So we'll just check the video on acetate. Then we can go through the reactions. So I'll share the video on acetate. Please tell me if it is not audible.
Ma'am, it's audible. Ma'am, it's audible.
Okay, thank you.
Chemical tests for acetate. Acetate is a negative ion or an anion with chemical formula CH3COO-. The neutral molecules formed by the combination of the acetate ion and a cation are commonly called acetates. The most well-known compound containing the acetate ion is acetic acid. Other examples of acetate salts are sodium acetate and potassium acetate. Our aim here is to test for the presence of acetate ion in a given salt. The tests to determine the presence of acetate ion are preliminary tests and confirmatory tests. Let's look at the preliminary tests of acetate. They are physical examination of the salt, dry heating test, concentrated sulfuric acid test. Physical examination of the salt. Materials required: a small quantity of the salt in a watch glass, distilled water, and glass rod. Procedure: take a pinch of the salt in a watch glass. To this, add a few drops of distilled water. Now, take the glass rod and rub the salt with it and smell it. A vinegar-like smell indicates the presence of acetate. Dry heating test. Concentrated sulfuric acid test. Materials required: original salt, concentrated sulfuric acid, blue litmus paper, test tube, and a dropper. Procedure: take a small amount of the salt in the test tube. To this, add a small volume of concentrated sulfuric acid using the dropper. Acetate reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid to produce vapors of acetic acid with characteristic vinegar-like smell. Place the blue litmus paper over the mouth of the test tube. Acetic acid turns the blue litmus paper red. Next, we look at the confirmatory tests of acetate. They are oxalic acid test, ester test, ferric chloride test. Oxalic acid test, salt. Now, add a few drops of distilled water into the mixture so as to get a paste. Take the glass rod and rub the paste with it and smell it. Oxalic acid reacts with acetate salt to form acetic acid, which produces a characteristic vinegar-like smell. Ester test. Materials required: original salt, concentrated sulfuric acid, ethyl alcohol, distilled water, test tube holder, glass rod, droppers, and Bunsen burner. Procedure: take a small quantity of the salt in the test tube. To this, add a small volume of concentrated sulfuric acid using a dropper. Heat the contents of the test tube over the Bunsen burner. Now, add a small volume of ethyl alcohol using another dropper. Shake the test tube well. Pour the contents of the test tube in the beaker containing distilled water. Stir the contents of the beaker using a glass rod. Smell the contents of the beaker by wafting. Acetate salts react with concentrated sulfuric acid and ethyl alcohol to form the ester, ethyl acetate, which has a fruity smell. Ferric chloride test. Materials required: aqueous solution of the salt, neutral ferric chloride solution, dilute hydrochloric acid, distilled water, test tubes, test tube holder, droppers, funnel, filter paper, and Bunsen burner. Procedure: take a small amount of aqueous solution of the salt in a test tube. To this, add a small quantity of neutral ferric chloride solution using a dropper. Acetate reacts with neutral ferric chloride to form reddish-brown colored ferric acetate. Now, using the funnel and the filter paper, filter the reddish-brown colored ferric acetate into another test tube. A reddish-colored filtrate is obtained. Take 1 part of the filtrate in a test tube. To this, add dilute hydrochloric acid using a dropper. We can see that the reddish color disappears. Take the second part of the filtrate and add distilled water to it. Now, boil the contents of the test tube over the Bunsen burner. Ferric acetate reacts with water to form a reddish-brown precipitate of iron complex. Precautions: handle the apparatus and chemicals carefully. Use droppers to take the reagents from the bottles. Wear a lab coat and gloves while performing the experiment.
Boys, you have observed the video on acetate, test for acetate. We started with the color of the salt. You must have observed the color of acetate salt. It is colorless, which indicates the absence of cobalt, nickel, copper, iron. The salt is soluble in water, so you can easily prepare original solution in water. So for the second salt, the salt containing acetate, your observation for color is again colorless, absence of colored cations. Checking the solubility in water, it's soluble. That means you can prepare the original salt solution. Then a little salt was mixed with dilute H2SO4 on a watch glass, and you all have seen the test. The student got a smell of vinegar. So the smell of vinegar indicates the presence of acetate ion. A small amount of the salt was also mixed with concentrated H2SO4 and the vapors which were evolved from the test tube was wafted. So you must have observed the video in which the student is wafting the vapors. So you are not supposed to smell the vapors directly. You need to waft the vapors. So that indicates the presence of acetate. Now once the acetate ion is identified, you need to move to the confirmatory test. For acetate, there are two confirmatory tests. Yeah, the first test is the ferric chloride test. In the video, you have seen the ester test first, followed by ferric chloride. Now, in the scheme of analysis, you have two tests, ferric chloride and ester test. Now, in ferric chloride test, you will be preparing salt solution. To that, you will be adding ferric chloride solution, diluting it and heating. So on adding ferric chloride solution, you will get a brown color, and on heating the contents, you will get a brown precipitate. So the test is salt solution dissolved in water. To that, you will add neutral ferric chloride. You will get a brown solution. On heating, the brown solution turns into brown precipitate. So that is the first confirmatory test for acetate. The second confirmatory test is the acetate. For acetate is ester test. You have learned ester test in grade 10 in carbon and its compounds. You will be taking a small amount of the salt containing acetate. You will be mixing the salt with few drops of concentrated H2SO4, and you will be adding little ethyl alcohol. You can slightly warm the test tube, and if you pour the contents in water, you will get a pleasant fruity smell. Now the reason why you are pouring it in water is because you have taken concentrated acid in the test tube. Smelling the vapors directly is not recommended. That is why the contents is poured in water, then you are smelling the mixture. That gives confirmatory test for acetate. So points to remember regarding acetate, it is a colorless salt, soluble in water, gives a vinegar smell with dilute H2SO4. When you mix with concentrated H2SO4, you get vapors of vinegar. Vinegar indicates the presence of acetate or acetic acid. Once you get vinegar smell, you will skip the other test. You will directly move on to confirmatory test. Under confirmatory test, you have two tests, ferric chloride test and ester test. For ferric chloride test, you will be taking salt solution and mixing with ferric chloride solution. You will get a brown color, which on heating gives a brown precipitate. For ester test, you will be taking your salt in the test tube, adding few drops of concentrated H2SO4. You will be adding ethanol to it and you will be warming it. After warming, you will be pouring the contents in water taken in a beaker. A pleasant fruity smell indicates the presence of acetate. If you have any doubts related to acetate, you can please clear now. You also have Fazira ma'am to help you out. Grade 11B.
Yes, ma'am. I think my boss are there, right?
She's
Operating with you.
Yeah, all are there. I can see the students.
Ma'am,
Boys, please
Yes.
feel free to ask the doubts with Nida, ma'am.
there's an echo there.
There's an echo there whenever we speak.
Actually, we are in the lab. So it's echoing. Maybe next time we'll shift to the class.
Ma'am, I think you're still
Ma'am, I think
sharing
you're
the
still
audio.
sharing the audio. On my video, you can just have a glance.
Ma'am, the echo is happening.
Because of.
So now I'm in the lab. I'll just show a few of your friends are performing the experiment. So myself, Safira, we both are in the lab. You can see students of 11. performing the experiment. They are also doing the same. They are also testing for carbonate, chloride and acetate. So whatever videos you have watched, the same has been performed by these students. So next time for remote, I think it's better we'll shift to the class because since the lab is, most of the spaces are vacant, it's echoing. So next time remote will be done from the class. Sorry?
It's not fine.
It's fine?
Ma'am, the echoes we are
No, ma'am, our voices are echoing because you're sharing system audio, right?
System audio, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So boys, if there is any doubt, please clear it. If you are okay, then we'll move on to the next. The last anion for today is chloride.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
And based on, yes, Arif.
Ma'am, the oxalic acid test was mentioned in the video.
Yeah, oxalic acid was mentioned in the video, but I have just removed it because it's not there in the scheme of analysis. So whatever experiments are there in the scheme of analysis, you need to perform only those tests. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in OLabs, you will find many other videos, but you need to follow only the scheme, the experiments which are given in the scheme of analysis. So now I'll move on to the last one, chloride.
Oh, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, for the ferric chloride test, we don't need to filter anything.
No. Ferric chloride, the insoluble, the salts which remain insoluble are being filtered. But here there is no need to filter the salt. Directly you can heat the contents. So filtering step can be skipped.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the last one. I'll share the video on chloride.
Chemical tests for chloride. Chlorides are salts of chlorine gas containing the chloride ion. The chloride ion is formed when the element chlorine gains an electron. The most commonly known chloride salt is sodium chloride, which is used to preserve food. Another important example of chloride is calcium chloride, used as a desiccant in laboratory desiccators to maintain a dry environment. Our aim here is to test the presence of chloride ion in a given salt. Let's look at the preliminary tests of chloride. The preliminary tests are dry heating test, potassium permanganate test, concentrated sulfuric acid test. Materials required: original salt, concentrated sulfuric acid, ammonia solution, test tube, dropper, and a glass rod. Procedure: take a small amount of the salt in a test tube. To this, add a small volume of concentrated sulfuric acid using a dropper. Chloride reacts with sulfuric acid to form colorless hydrogen chloride gas with a pungent smell. Dip the glass rod in ammonia solution and bring it over the mouth of the test tube. Hydrogen chloride reacts with ammonia to form white fumes of ammonium chloride. Next, we look at the confirmatory tests of chloride. The confirmatory tests are silver nitrate test, manganese dioxide test, and chromyl chloride test. Silver nitrate test. Materials required: aqueous solution of the salt, silver nitrate solution, dilute nitric acid, test tube holder, droppers, and Bunsen burner. Procedure: take a portion of aqueous solution of the salt in a test tube. To acidify the aqueous solution, Add some dilute nitric acid to it using a dropper. Boil the contents for some time over the Bunsen burner and cool. Now add a few drops of silver nitrate solution using another dropper. Chloride reacts with silver nitrate to form a white precipitate of silver chloride. Chromyl chloride test. Materials required: original salt, powdered potassium dichromate, concentrated sulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide solution, dilute acetic acid, lead acetate solution, test tube holder, spatula, glass rod, droppers, and a Bunsen burner. Procedure: take a small quantity of the salt in the test tube. To this, add small amount of powdered potassium dichromate using the spatula. Mix the contents of the test tube with the glass rod. Now, add small volume of concentrated sulfuric acid into the mixture using a dropper. Heat the mixture over the Bunsen burner. Chloride reacts with potassium dichromate and concentrated sulfuric acid to produce red vapors of chromyl chloride. Now, cover the test tube containing the mixture with an empty test tube to collect the red vapors. Then, add a small volume of sodium hydroxide solution to the test tube filled with red vapors using another dropper. Chromyl chloride reacts with sodium hydroxide to form a yellow solution of sodium chromate. To the yellow solution of sodium chromate, add a small volume of dilute acetic acid using a dropper. Then add a few drops of lead acetate solution using another dropper. Sodium chromate reacts with lead acetate in the presence of dilute acetic acid to form a yellow precipitate of lead chromate. Precautions: handle the apparatus and chemicals carefully. Use droppers to take the reagents from the bottles. Wear a lab coat and gloves while performing the experiment.
So you have observed a video on the test for chloride. So again, if you must have observed the color of the salt, it will be colorless or white. So in the lab, grade 11, you will be given only colorless salts. For colorless salts, indicates the presence of iron, cobalt, copper, nickel. These are the colored salts. So if the salt is white, that indicates the absence of colored salts like copper, cobalt, and iron. Then solubility in water, the salt is soluble in water, so you can prepare the original salt solution. Now, if you perform the third experiment, experiment 3 is to mix a little of the salt with few drops of H2SO4 on a watch glass with the help of a glass rod. You will not get the smell of vinegar. So your observation will be no smell of vinegar, absence of acetate, because you are doing the test using chloride ion. You are given a chloride salt. So when you are doing the third test, your observation will be no smell of vinegar. That indicates absence of acetate. Then you will be performing dilute H2SO4 test. To the little of the salt solution, you will be adding dilute H2SO4, and if you get brisk effervescence, that indicates carbonate. But if you perform the experiment using a salt containing chloride, you will not get any of these observations. You will not get brisk effervescence. You will not get the smell of rotten eggs. So on performing dilute H2SO4 test, your observation will be no characteristic reaction. So you have to report as no characteristic reaction, absence of carbonate. CO3 2- is carbonate and S2- is sulfide. So your observation is no characteristic reaction, absence of carbonate and sulfide. Then you will move on to the second test using concentrated H2SO4. You'll be taking a dry test tube because you're going to use concentrated sulfuric acid. You all know about the reactivity. If acid comes in contact with water, reaction is highly exothermic, so there is a chance for the acid to spill. So first, you have to take a dry test tube. In that, you need to take the salt. To the salt, you are adding the concentrated H2SO4. Now, you must have observed a froth inside the test tube as soon as you add concentrated H2SO4. So, that froth is nothing but a colorless, pungent smelling gas. Never smell any pungent smelling gas. So, it's a colorless, pungent smelling gas which turns into more dense when a glass rod dipped in ammonium hydroxide is brought near the mouth of the test tube. So in the video you must have observed that when the student adds concentrated H2SO4 to the salt, a froth is seen inside the test tube. So the froth is nothing but the evolution of a pungent smelling gas. Then the student dipped a glass rod in ammonium hydroxide and he brought near the mouth of the test tube. The colorless gas. Sorry?
We should waft it, right?
No. For chloride, before warming, you will get the test. Okay, so just add concentrated H2SO4 to the salt. Even before warming, you can see a reaction occurring inside the test tube. So for chloride test, there is no need to warm the test tube.
Yes,
you can see a colorless gas is being evolved, and the colorless gas becomes more dense when you bring a glass rod dipped in ammonium hydroxide near the mouth of the test tube. So that indicates the presence of chloride. So once the student gets chloride, he will be skipping test for sulfate and test for phosphate, and he will be directly doing the confirmatory test for chloride. Now under confirmatory test for chloride, you have two tests. First is the silver nitrate test and the second one is chromyl chloride test. For silver nitrate test, the salt solution is first. First you dissolve the salt in water, then you add dilute HNO3 followed by AgNO3. You will get a white precipitate, and the white precipitate will dissolve in excess of ammonium hydroxide. That confirms the presence of chloride. And there is one more confirmatory test. It is the chromyl chloride test. Teacher will demonstrate the test, and students are not supposed to do it because the test is a little bit risky because you are using concentrated sulfuric acid and potassium dichromate. It is a very strong oxidizing agent. So we are not doing the test, only teacher will demonstrate the chromyl chloride test. In chromyl chloride test, you will be taking salt and mixing with equal amount of potassium dichromate, followed by few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid. You will be heating the contents, and the vapor obtained is passed through sodium hydroxide solution taken in another beaker. If you get a yellow color and the yellow precipitate after adding acetic acid and lead acetate, that confirms the presence of chloride. So the second test, the second confirmatory is not performed by you in the lab, but the test will be asked for viva. So during the practical exam, the external examiner will ask questions on chromyl chloride test. So teacher will be demonstrating the test and you have to learn the test. You are not going to perform it, but you have to learn it. So that's about chloride. So once you get the anion, then the final step is to report the anion. You have to write the result. You have to report your anion. The given salt contains chloride as anion. So these are the 3 tests which we plan to have today. Even the students who are here, they are performing the same test. Now I'll give 5 minutes time. Please go through the scheme of analysis carefully. Based on these 3 anions, you will be given a short assessment in forms. Those who have any doubts, they can clear it now. Please go through the scheme of salt analysis. After 5 minutes, you will be having an assessment on carbonate, chloride, and acetate.
Ma'am, why do we
do this confirmation?
Sorry?
Ma'am, why do we do
Why
this
do we do this
confirmatory test?
confirmatory test?
Confirmatory because there is a chance for the salt to get contaminated.
Okay.
Okay, we are providing the salt to the students. So there is a chance for intermixing of the salts. Okay, in that case, even a minute particle will give you the test. Now, during heating, some students will drop the salt on the burner. So you may get some tests which are not for ions which are not actually there in your sample. There is more chance of the salt getting contaminated. So even minute quantity will give you the test, and that gives a false indication regarding the experiment. So to confirm, so to make sure that your salt has the anion which you have identified, for that you will be doing the confirmatory test. So one identification followed by
Understood,
2
ma'am.
confirmatory. Okay, yeah. I have given them 5 minutes time. After that, we'll do the assessment. Carbonate, acetate, and chloride. Certified, right? Boys, I'll be sharing the link for the assessment at 9:40. So you have 5 more minutes. Please go through the scheme.
Ma'am, where is the test?